All right. So let's move along. We're done with modern wrestling for the week. Okay, so let's move on to the good stuff. We got some classics. This is what we live for, Vlad. This is what we grew up with, and this is better. So, 1996. We're in October 1996, October 7th. So we've been doing this for a few weeks now. We've been going at WWF after SummerSlam. There's a link to the whole playlist if you missed any of it in the description below. But we've also done, Robert, I'm sure you remember this, we've done October 7th WCW Nitro already. We reviewed that on this show on episode 90 of the Malapert Smark Podcast. You were here. So this was 3 weeks away from Halloween Havoc. And we had a big Hollywood Hogan and Macho Man feud going on. Hall and Nash are there. Hall and Nash are going to be on this episode of WWF too, by the way, which is kind of crazy. That they're going to be in two places at once.
Oh, is that right? Is that right, JR?
So Razor Ramon and Diesel.
Oh yeah, you're right. That's not Hall and Nash. That's Razor and Diesel. Excuse me. But yeah, Macho Man, some good drama. Well, I'm just showing this to show like the competition, because basically we're at a low point in WWF, a very low point. And WCW is riding on a high, and they just getting Jeff Jarrett in. So Jeff Jarrett, who, Robert, you remember they mentioned last week that they did a segment that they sold out Jeff Jarrett's musical abilities, that he's a lip syncer and all that, and they knew he was going to WCW. So here's Jeff Jarrett in WCW, and they're also going to talk about Double J on this show today. You'll see, they run him down some more. They really fucking talk shit about him. So. Nick Patrick as well. So good show. WCW intra WCW wars going on as well. Arn Anderson was feuding with Lex Luger. Glacier, interesting character. I mean, showed that they were trying to do stuff. And they still had the Macho Man. Here's Macho Man, a Slim Jim commercial. Man, WWF, at that time, here's a thought that I had today. At that time, they really had no idea what to do with aging wrestlers. Right, like nowadays WWE loves aging wrestlers. They're like, bring them back. We're gonna have a story arc. We're gonna have a conclusion, retirement match, and all that. Back then, they had no fucking clue to do what to do with the Macho Man as he was aging. They're like, no, they're not. They can't be like superstars, main eventers anymore. So we're just gonna throw them away. You know what I mean? So,
well, which proved to be ridiculous, because he had at least 4 or 5 good more years left in him, based on everything he. It was crazy. 5. No, after they stopped using him, he probably had like 10 more years left in him. Then Hogan too. Well, yeah,
good years. Sure. Good year. I don't know about good years. Like they couldn't really work in their aging years, but they still worked. But they didn't work as crazy as they did.
I thought Savage was still a really good worker.
Oh, Savage could, yeah. Macho Man or Hogan was being more careful. Hogan was being more careful at that point. But all right, well, let's go through this episode of Monday Night Raw then and see how this company failed really badly. I mean, they're not stepping it up, Vlad. I mean, people are asking this. People are asking the same thing right now currently about AEW. Like, should they step it up because WWF are doing, Cena's heel turn and heading towards WrestleMania? Like, should AEW react and try to do something? And they're like, no, we're just going to do our own thing. We don't care that they're fucking awesome over there. We're just going to, do what we do. And
But in reality, what can they do? I mean, look at the wrestlers they have on their roster, these indie guys. What realistically can they do to make the average fan talk about their company, or not the average fan, but at the very least people that are not invested and watch wrestling on a weekly basis, like the people that come in every once in a while? I mean, they're not going to be able to get the same type of recognition like ESPN or whoever that talks about the Cena thing as well. That was a big story, not just in wrestling. That actually reached, like I said, it reached ESPN and it reached other places where people were talking about that. So realistically, what can they do? I think
just to step it up, try to make an interesting storyline, try to make some shake it up, turn someone heel. I don't know.
Sure.
But
burn some more houses down.
yes, Robert, you got the idea.
Maybe they should have put set Hangman on fire, at least for a couple of seconds.
That would have gotten people talking for sure.
Yeah, so I don't know. You're right. There we go.
All right, so I want to do a couple of watch-alongs and reviews some of these storylines that happened on this episode. So me and Vlad, we watched this earlier today. I think we got reviews in there, thumbs up, thumbs down reviews. Robert, you didn't watch it, I don't think, right? But that's okay. Robert see it when he was a kid, actually, so he saw it like for real when he was there.
I probably so did I.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, I'm gonna be jumping around on this because I have I got this show kind of like mixed up, like clips. I got clips here and there, so I have to jump around between clips that I have. This one was a harder one to find for me, but October 7th. So let me start on storyline number 1. Let's see who's coming. Oh, well, so this is a continuation of the whole fake Diesel, fake Razor. I'm gonna put a link to the playlist. I've made a playlist, guys, of this whole story. So we've done like a few episodes, a few weeks of this. So by now they've already introduced the fake Razor and Diesel, and today Diesel, quote unquote, is facing Mark Miro. And the commentators when the show opened, they did mention JR's not here. We don't know where he is. But then when Diesel comes out, he comes out with Diesel. So he's like his manager or valet. Not really, but he does come out with him. So here comes Diesel. Man, Diesel looks exactly like fucking Diesel, man. If they didn't know, like, they could have replaced Diesel one day with this guy. Nobody would have fucking noticed the difference. But that's Kane. That's Glenn Jacobs. And I think I'm going to play a watch-along. Let me take my Okada. Sorry, I got a picture of Okada down there, the Continental Champion.
Bye, Okada. Bye, Okada.
Bye, Okada. But yeah, I'm going to play a watch-along of Razor Ramon's promo. So this guy, Razor...
This was ridiculous.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, this guy... what's his name? Rick Bogner, I guess?
Something like that. I can't remember his real name.
His real name is Rick Bogner. He has since passed on, unfortunately. God rest his soul. Yeah, recently. So here's Rick Bogner acting as Razor Ramon.
As a matter of fact, Razor Ramon is standing by the bad guy. How do you like what you see tonight in Diesel? What do you think?
Yeah, man. Big Daddy Cool is doing all right, Chico. But I think I'm going to take a closer.
What does he mean, take a closer look? He's got a monster.
That's so fucking ridiculous, dude. The facial inflections are ridiculous.
The way his mouth was already open, the way his jaw was aligned when he was talking, it was absurd. He looked insane. He looked insane. He looked like someone that was literally insane. But okay.
It's hilarious, though. It's hilarious. I would love to interview this guy about doing this role. Oh my God! God rest his soul. I'm liking this, man. I don't know you. I think this storyline is fucking amusing as hell. But
I mean, it's funny in retrospect. It is.
Yeah, in retrospect.
Only in retrospect is this funny.
At the time, when this was happening, oh man,
they were getting killed. They were definitely getting killed. Everybody was trashing this.
The real outsiders were on Nitro challenging the Harlem Heat, I think, for Halloween Havoc. So they're on their way to becoming tag team champions over there. But here comes Razor. So he actually does come to the ring after that incredible promo he cut in the back. And Mark Miro does a flip dive on him. So immediately gets involved. And I think Razor gets in the ring and causes a DQ. And the NWO style beatdown. Right? So they basically literally beat him up like NWO is invading WWF. I think they were trying to hint at that too in a way, but there's Sable doing more work than I've ever seen her do, acting really sad and distraught that Mark Miro's getting his ass beat by these guys. Powerbomb, and there they go. NWO and WWF. Can you believe that? All right, reviews. Let's see. Oh, this is the toothpick flick at the camera. This is great. Reviews. Let's see. Vlad and me. I got a half thumbs up from me. Okay. And I got a thumbs down from Vlad. Okay. He's not into this. All right. Any comments you want to give, I guess, just because since we're on the topic, this is the only chance you'll ever have to talk about this match between Mark Miro and Fake Diesel.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. Obviously, this whole thing was a joke from the beginning. It blew up in their face. They thought they were being cute, or I don't know what the thinking really was. It was just like they really thought they could replace these characters, I guess. I think that's really what Vince thought, in his mind at that time. Like, I don't need Scott Hall. I don't need Kevin Nash. I can just put anybody as Razor Ramon and Diesel. I think, honestly, that must have been it. Because otherwise, this is just stupid. But even that thought alone is stupid. That you could just put any character, any person with any character. The other thing is, I didn't like. I think you were just like last week or one of the other. Was it last week that Mero won the Intercontinental title and he had that whole celebration in the ring? That was last week, right?
Yeah. And then this is his first match back.
And this is his first match back, and he gets beat down in the stupid angle that everybody knows is just a mess and a joke. So I know you said like it didn't affect any main angles. Well, yeah, I guess, but in a sense, they were trying to do something with Mero. They gave him the IC title, so they saw something at least. But yeah,
well, my only point was they brought Hall and Nash to do this, or Hall and Nash, Razor and Diesel to do this, mock invasion angle, I guess, in a way. But at least it's not with the top guys. Like, he's not doing it with Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and, Sid or Vader. He's doing it with Miro, I guess. So that's kind of the best. That's the best compliment I could give this. At least they didn't muddy up the top guys. But Robert, I saw you smiling at that Razor Ramon impression. So come on, this must have been entertaining at least in some way.
Okay, in retrospect, yes, but
okay, all right.
I'm trying to think of like if watching it at that time as it was happening, this was awful.
Yeah,
it was really, really embarrassing.
All right, well, let me move on to the second storyline then. Let's see what we got. Not that many storylines. This is just an hour-long show, and a lot of them I'm just going to gloss over, so I'm not going to cover a lot of it in detail. But, this was a fucking funny promo. I think I should play some pictures from this. Vlad gave this one a thumbs up, if I'm not mistaken. I gave it a half thumbs up.
Well, which is what? I don't remember.
This is the Mr. Perfect video package.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I've seen that package many times before.
What the hell? You love this?
I'm a big fan of Mr. Perfect.
They just show this video package of Mr. Perfect just being too perfect, Robert, doing all kinds of things, playing basketball, hitting a home run. Oh, this one was funny. He threw a football, and then he also caught it on the other side. Like he threw it, and that's how perfect he is. He's like the quarterback and the wide receiver. He commentates. He's a great commentator. Looks great in a suit. Throws a strike. Yeah, I didn't even look at it, but obviously it's a strike.
He does the Steph Curry thing where he just turns around without looking. Okay.
Even on the what is it? Darts, even darts, center right in the middle. So, Mr. Perfect. He's facing Triple H in a couple weeks. So, I think, he's been stealing Triple H's women. So, I don't know. I thought this was a kind of funny, nice, lighthearted. I mean, the gimmick of being perfect. He's very perfect. But I think that's a clever name. It's a good name. It's a good gimmick. But it's to me, he didn't really lose much by coming to WCW and not having Mr. Perfect as a gimmick. Like, he was still a really great wrestler.
I think that was another example of them just thinking that Hennig didn't have much left in the tank, and again being proven wrong. That he had plenty. I mean, he had plenty in WCW. I felt so. Yeah, another example of just thinking like this guy's too old.
Well, he's got from what I was reading, he's got about another month left here in WWF before he.
That's what I'm trying to remember. This Triple H match even happened, and I can't recall it. You're saying he's going to face him in a couple of weeks. I don't know if he does.
Yeah, they're announcing it like the return of Mr. Perfect. So yes, I guess what happens. Okay. I guess we'll get there. But
I don't remember it. I have to be honest.
Something happens. Yeah, they do run a little storyline here. There's a couple angles coming up, but we'll see that when we get to it. All right, next one on this one. I don't know if you guys had comments. You feel free to jump in, but otherwise, I'll move on to the third storyline. This is probably one that I'm glossing over today, too, the Smoking Guns. I don't think I'm going to play anything from this. Do I have any images from here? What happened? This was a match between the Smoking Guns
and the Rockers. which was Marty
Oh yeah,
Jannetty and
the New Rockers.
the New
Yes.
Rockers. Marty Jannetty and who was it? Did I say it was Al Snow? I can't even remember who this
Al
was.
Snow, but his name was like Leaf something or Leaf Ferris or something.
Good God. Yes.
I don't know. Billy Gunn is here. Billy Gunn has a crush on Sunny. Like, I guess his goal is to win the tag titles back so that she'll come back to the stable. Because, you know, she left him when they lost the titles. So
Having a crush on Sunny is normal. That's
at that point in time.
especially 1996 Sunny. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, this was a win for the Smoking Guns. Bart Gunn and Billy Gunn, the badass Billy Gunn, Mr. Ass, as he's called. So,
Yes, he will be called.
yeah, daddy ass. All right, indifferent from both of us.
He wasn't scissoring yet.
There were no scissors at this time.
Yeah.
All right, nothing interesting going on here for us. So this is a dead spot in the show. For a 1 hour show, that was kind of weak, right? And they're competing with WCW, so not much going on there. I got another storyline that I'm not really going to continue to talk about that deeply, but I don't really like this storyline. It's the one where Jerry Lawler, he already fought Jake the Snake at SummerSlam, but he's still trolling his ass from commentary, calling him a drunk, saying I heard he's drinking again and this and that. I don't know. This one's a little too realistic for me, especially knowing what happened to Jake, if they really need to keep going along with this. But any comments on that, Vlad, or should I move on?
Nah, you can move on.
All right, number 5. Let's see. Oh, this is the Jeff Jarrett thing. So Jeff Jarrett literally just debuts in WCW, shows up in a limousine, and they got a whole segment devoted to trolling Jeff Jarrett on this show. So WWF dragged the departed Jeff Jarrett through the mud as the Road Dogg is interviewed, and they reveal him to be the real talent behind Jeff Jarrett music, I guess. Yeah. So
what's the song? My Baby Tonight, I think is the name of the song.
Well, we gotta play some of this, man. Let me see if I can pull this up. So I'm on storyline number 5. Let me see. This was a clip I had to dig up because I didn't have this clip in my archive, so I had to find this. But this is Road Dogg singing, Robert. So I'll play you a little bit of Road Dogg.
Sound familiar? That's the real Double J, Jesse James, being reunited with his real collaborator, Jim Johnston. They're the duo who should have received credit for the hit song With My Baby Tonight.
So they basically drag Jeff Jarrett through the mud, say, look, this was all lip synced. You thought this was Jeff Jarrett, huh? But look at this.
Song With My Baby Tonight were a lie. Not only was he lip syncing that night, but Jarrett's entire musical career was a hoax.
Oh, man, can you believe they're doing this, Robert? This guy's on the other show. They're really petty, man. This is like Tony Khan took notes from WWF of this era, because it's like something he would do on the way, like the way he tried to troll CM Punk on the way out. Let's see what Road Dogg says about Jeff Jarrett.
Greatest entertainer. he's not even close to being a good entertainer. He can't dance, he can't sing, and like I said, that's not me being cocky. That's me being honest. He cannot do these things, and that's not saying that I can, but I think I can. God gives people talent. You know, you don't just run out at the Blue Light Special and buy a voice and buy rhythm. You don't just do that.
He was the roadie. He was Jeff Jarrett's henchman, right?
Shots fired.
Yeah, for real, man. I mean, I wonder if he actually had beef with Jeff Jarrett to do that. Like, because if Vince asked him to do that,
so.
I would say no. I'd be like, no, man, this is too much. Jeff's gonna hate me, right? So,
I mean,
they did.
Yeah, go ahead. I'll let you talk.
They did mention the angle they had. There was some kind of angle they ran where Road Dogg accidentally cost Double J a match or something. And they try to throw that in there, like, as part of this. But really, they were just, talking shit on Jeff Jarrett. Here, I'll play another little clip.
Okay. Next week, Jesse James will tell us exactly what went on behind the scenes when Jeff Jarrett ran from the impending scandal. But Jeff Jarrett, you want to come back? The real Double J's got a job for you.
Sure. Together again. You want to drive my Lincoln Town car? You want to tote my bags through the airport? Come on, Jeff. Let's do it. Road Dogg.
Man, how disrespectful. Gosh. All right. Let's see. Vlad, you got to have some kind of comments on this one. Let me give you ratings on this first. As a segment, Vlad gave it a thumbs down. I gave it a half thumbs up just because it's so wild. It is kind of wild, man. But, okay, Vlad, thoughts?
Well, I think I said it before when they first introduced this thing as an angle. It's pettiness. It's more pettiness. It's like, how can we really shit on the person that's leaving our company and going to the competitor? Let's run some stupid thing. First of all, whose idea was it for Jeff Jarrett to be a singer in the first place? Vince, obviously, another stupid idea that he had. I don't even know where that even came from. And then as he's going out the door to the competition, let's shit on him some more. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of that type of, that creative and that type of booking. But I guess this is the first time. I guess the one thing that did come from this is that eventually Road Dogg or Rhodey, I guess he was, whatever he was known as here, Jesse James, he becomes a character and he becomes somewhat important during the Attitude Era, right? So that's something.
Yeah. This is the first promo I've ever seen, the earliest promo I've seen of the Road Dogg. So yeah, it's interesting in that regard.
That's something of yeah. And obviously he's still with the company now. I think he's like the writer in SmackDown, like the head writer in SmackDown. So I mean, I guess everybody has to start somewhere, but this was not a good angle.
All right, Robert, I know you didn't watch the show fully, but you saw some clips there. Any thoughts you want to give us?
Oh, you didn't know? Your ass better call somebody. When I think of Road Dogg, I think of that line right there. I don't know, man. This is really because I don't remember this at all, actually. So it's interesting to see him in this different persona. But okay, I don't know. I don't know what rating I would give it. It's just odd for me. And I do agree that with what Vlad said, this is just petty. I mean, if I was
petty, entertaining at all, or no? Not entertaining.
Not really. If I was confident in my own, product, like what I'm pushing out on television, I don't need to stoop to this personally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You were not entertained, but you telling me you heard this and you were not entertained?
Well, I don't know. Maybe because I'm not into like that style, but whatever.
Like country music.
Sound familiar? That's the real double.
I can't wait to be with my baby tonight. Man, that speaks to me. I love that. All right, I'm gonna download that later.
It's actually not a. It is a catchy song. I will say that.
It is very catchy. Oh, alone. I can't wait to be alone with my baby tonight. Exactly.
Sure.
All right.
Sure. Of course.
All right, next one. I think this was the main storyline of the night. So this was the meat of the matter, Vlad. So which was not even that good. So Vader and Sid, I guess, are named as they're gonna fight each other at the pay-per-view, and the winner is gonna get a WWF title shot, right? So Sid is fighting Goldust tonight, who cut a promo, and Cornette, who manages Vader, is mad that Vader, after pinning Shawn Michaels last week, has to face Sid to get a title shot. He's like, why should I have to do that? We beat him last week. We pinned him. So, I commend Cornette because they kind of made him look really goofy at the pay-per-view, getting, swindled by that other manager, Clarence Mason. But here he got some back because he actually did help Vader get that pin, distracted Shawn Michaels, swiped at him with the racket, and then got him the win. So he got actually something tangible to argue for a title shot. As a manager, I thought that was a positive for Jim Cornette. But I guess I'll play some of it. Play some of Cornette's promo. How about a little bit of Cornette for the day? How about? Can't get enough Cornette.
Survivor Series. Whoa. Wait a minute. Why should he have to?
Oh shit! I gotta turn this down. Put it in watch along mode. Give me 1 second. There you go. Zoom in down there. If you guys have iPhone or laptop, you could zoom into the video in the corner. For Android users, you're shit out of luck. Sorry.
Oh, no, you didn't.
He ought to have it already. You want to know why? I'll tell you why. Because what happened last week here on Raw a couple of months ago would have made headlines all across the world. Vader beats Shawn. But now it's a daily habit for Vader because he beat you, Shawn Michaels, in July at the International Incident. He beat you twice at SummerSlam, and he beat you right here on Raw. But never when it counts for the title because the WWF has protected their merchandising cash cow. You got Shawn Michaels pictures on undershorts and beach towels and everything else to the cover of Playgirl magazine. Vader wouldn't go there.
No, they said they're not giving Vader a shot at the title because they don't want to mess with their cash cow, Shawn Michaels. They don't want to cost him the title. Because if Vader was, if Vader was the face of the company, it would hurt their merchandising. I
could see that.
That's Cornette's argument here. Some argument.
Well, the funny part is he said that Vader wouldn't go to Playgirl. Yeah, I don't think anybody wants to see that.
Vader wouldn't go there because he's a big bad man.
Because he's a big bad man.
Afraid if we got Vader as a champion, then him and his punchy, unattractive manager will destroy all that merchandise. Now, they figure he's going to take on Psycho Sid. So what better way to keep Vader from the title than to make the winner of that match the #1 contender? Well, I got news for you, Psycho Sid. And Buried Alive, October 20th, you're going to be buried. You're going to be in your own private hell because this man ain't psycho. He just plain don't care. And one way or another, he's going to take you out, Psycho Sid. And especially with your own move, the power bomb, the one you stole from him to begin with. The bombs will fall in Indianapolis when the irresistible force meets the immovable object. And then, this man right here is going to Survivor Series. And nobody can deny him his rightful due and his rightful place. He's going to be the World Wrestling Federation champion. I promise you that.
All right. There you go. There you go. There's our taste of Cornette for the day. Well, okay, let me just say what happened to finish off the day for this storyline today. So Sid comes out for the main event, and he beats Goldust. So he wins that match. Cornette's there to witness it on commentary, the sheer force of Sid. And then Vader enters. This is the end of the show. So this is like the go home, the last 2-minute stretch, the most exciting part. So Vader enters, and he starts brawling with Sid. And I think he splashes Sid. That looks pretty good for a big guy. Vader does that well, the splash off the top rope. And then Sid no-sells it. So Sid just gets up. I guess, Vader's celebrating like he kicked his ass, and Sid just stands up. Complete no-sell. So I don't know what you think of that, Vlad, or if you have an opinion about that in general. We've seen the Ultimate Warrior do that and other people throughout history. But
yeah,
Psycho Sid, I don't know if you think Psycho Sid is a worthy person to do that, like the Road Warriors or something like that. I don't know. But before I get your comments on this, I think that was it. Psycho Sid chokeslammed Vader, and then they retreated, and Sid ended the night on top. So we got something to look forward to, Sid and Vader for #1 contenders match for next week. And also, in terms of Shawn Michaels, he's going to be facing Stone Cold next week in a non-title match. I don't know if that's really interesting, but they just mentioned that. That really wasn't, no one was there today, Stone Cold or Shawn Michaels. But okay, so what do you think of this Vader and Sid as the main guys on this show to go up against WCW? I guess Vlad gave this a half thumbs up. I also gave it a half thumbs up, so I kind of liked it, but it just didn't seem like it was really that amazing. What do you think, Vlad?
Well, yeah, I mean, at some, at a point, you just gotta change what you're doing, and there's just not at that point yet. I mean, this is not gonna cut it if they want to compete with WCW. Nothing against Sid or Vader, who have been tremendous talents in the past, at least. But I think at this point, they didn't know how to do it yet. Like, they couldn't figure out what they needed, and it just wasn't there. The creative just was not there. The story, the booking, the feel of the show, it was all lacking. Everything was lacking at this point. So Yeah, this was just okay.
How about the
Yeah.
no-sell? You got any issues with that no-sell, Sid?
Not particularly in that instance. I mean, I don't know if Sid does that all the time. I wouldn't say that of him that I've seen. I think usually he would sell something like that for the most part. And so I didn't have a problem with it, I guess. But yes, if it was a repetitive thing, it was constantly no-selling Vader's or anybody's moves, then yeah, that would become an issue. But I don't know if that's one of his things that people are complaining about. So I'm going to say no, it's okay.
All right. Let me see what we got next. Robert, I don't think you got any thoughts on Sid or Vader or Cornette. I don't know. Anything you want to say about anything we just saw, or should we move on from this?
Move on.
All right, moving along. I got storyline number 7 from this show. Okay, so this is another one that I'm skipping. The Sultan, which is Rikishi. We saw a match of his the other day. There wasn't much. I actually watched this match just to make sure there was nothing in the commentary that might have had anything to do with the storylines that we're reviewing today, but nothing. The only thing we got from commentary was this fool. Fucking
What the?
Bob Backlund just talking like a ridiculous...
An insane person, right?
Ridiculous, insane person. So, okay, I don't know if this goes anywhere or if this is going to last much longer, this Sultan experiment. But the Sultan in this match defeats a guy named Aldo Montoya. So, who for you hardcore wrestling fans, that's just incredible. I don't know if you heard of him, Robert, or no? You heard of Just Incredible?
I know that. I didn't know he went by Aldo Montoya.
Yeah, yep. Got squashed here by the Sultan. So
it was another stupid gimmick.
Yeah, stupid gimmick. I don't know. I don't have a picture of it. I thought I did. Okay, yeah. I'm gonna move on though. Number 8. Let's see. Storyline number 8. Buried Alive. Oh, this is probably their main. This should be like something they're focusing on more. I think heading into a pay-per-view called Buried Alive, right? Yeah. Where they keep saying, JR keeps saying it on commentary. In 2 weeks, somebody's gonna get buried alive. But they haven't been doing much other than sending them out to cut these vignettes at I don't even know if these are cemeteries, but no. I don't. You think some cemetery let them get in there and dig a grave or something, or?
I would probably say not. No.
It's probably just some plot of land that they have somewhere. They made it look like a cemetery. But okay.
For all I know, this is Vince's house. I don't know.
But okay, so Buried Alive is drawing closer. For the last 2 weeks, we've seen them cut promos. I guess Vlad says he's kind of tired of it. It's kind of lazy. They're not doing anything in the stadium. They're just cutting little vignettes. They must have done this all in one day, maybe, and they don't have to work for a month. So, all right. But since we don't have much clips after this to play, I guess we'll just listen to this Undertaker promo. It's probably really short, like a minute long. These didn't really go too long back in the days, but let's see what the Undertaker has to say today.
My work here is nearly at its end, as is your existence on this earth. All that's left to do is to fill this grave with your rotting, maggot-infested carcass. You won't have a nice day.
Oh.
And you sure won't. Rest in peace.
That was it. That was Undertaker's. I like that. That was pretty good. Should we listen to Mankind's?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, fine. We'll do Mankind's too. Let's see what they say.
I don't want maggots eating at my flesh. I won't disgrace for the Undertaker. This frame's too short for the Undertaker.
Man, that was really short. That was like nothing. Yeah. He was just acting scared. I guess for anyone listening on just audio, he fell into the grave that they buried, and he just looked scared as fuck. Anyways, Vlad, you said you didn't see this earlier in the day. You get it. Yeah. You gave it indifferent, but now that you've seen those 2 promos, would you want to change this to any type of thumbs up?
No, I wouldn't. No, I don't think so. Well, it was the Undertaker's like, my work here is almost done. I'm like, dude, you've been at it for like a month. What are you? I could have dug 20 graves by now.
Dude, you ever dig a grave, dude? It's not easy to dig a grave.
No, I have never buried anybody. Thank God.
Dude, it is not easy to dig a grave. I dug a grave once with another guy, and it took forever, and we were fucking tired at the end, bro. Tired.
Well, I get it, but it wouldn't take you 3 weeks, I'm pretty sure, to dig one grave.
I mean, maybe if you want to do it leisurely and go home, come get some rest and come back and continue doing it. Because I don't think one guy could dig a whole grave. You could, but that'd be a lot of work, man. We dug a grave once for my friend's dog who died in his backyard. So, yeah, man. I even broke the shovel. I fucking shoveled so much that the shovel broke. We had to go buy another shovel. But anyway.
Oh, Jesus. Well, yeah, but still, I mean, they did this 3 weeks in a row, maybe even 4 weeks. I can't remember how many times, but with these vignettes, as you call them.
Yeah, the whole video package. I'll call it a video package. I guess sometimes. Yeah, I wonder if next week they'll do it again, or if they're gonna show up at all for anything in the arena.
So when is Buried Alive? Do you know when that pay-per-view is supposed to take place? If you don't, if you don't have it, on hand.
I don't have it handy. Let me check right now. If you give me 1 second, I want to know how many weeks we are on this.
By that point, Undertaker should be done digging.
Could have built a couple houses at that time.
All right, so we got just one more show, just next week.
Okay, so one more Raw and then the paper.
One more Raw, yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So that's it. I think that'll conclude our review of Monday Night Raw from October 7th, 1996, as we see Big Daddy Cool Diesel on the thumbnail that I have here. Vlad, overall thoughts? I know this is a bad one, so
yeah,
probably give this a thumbs down overall. My overall rating of the show.
Yeah, I mean, there really wasn't anything there. Stone Cold wasn't there. There was no mention of Bret Hart. Shawn Michaels wasn't even there. It was kind of a weak show, and the only mention of The Undertaker and Mankind, which is a good feud, obviously, and I stand by that. But are these video segments that are like a minute? So yeah, this would be a thumbs down.
Well, they did mention the Stone Cold Shawn Michaels match coming up next week as a teaser, non-title match between Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold. What do you think? You looking forward to that, Robert? Do you actually want to watch that one or what?
That one I would watch.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, cool. So we're saving that for next week.